Yeah, we got a little bit about it. So Duality is the show coming up that I wanted to talk to you guys about. I had an interview with executive director of Bossier Arts Council, Brittney Pope, about this event. It's to create and to survive. I'm going to be probably applying for this. It's the open artist call right now, so you have time. Your deadline to submit will be March 25th. So you got a little more than a month to get your work created for this. The theme is about surviving as an artist, but needing to create to survive as an artist. So, it's the struggle of having to afford the materials, having to afford to live, but also having that deep urge that us as artists need to create art. So it's a very interesting. You can see that there's a lot on this poster to read. Um, so check out Bossier Arts Council. Look for their posts for this flyer, so you can get all the details and all the guidelines. They're very open about the mediums. Pretty much any medium is accepted into this, as long as you can fit it in the building and it's not too large, taking up too much space. They're cool about that. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get us started on that interview. It was certainly a great conversation. She also shared a little bit of details about what the membership for Bossier Arts, because you don't have to be a member to apply. It's $10 if you're not a member to apply, but if you are a member, it's free. There's a lot of benefits to being a member. It's only a one-time fee every year. It's like $35, I believe. You'll hear it in the interview, but there's a lot of benefits to being part of that membership, and you're gonna hear a little bit about that. And we also talk little about what she feels like the impact of Bossier Arts Council has to its city, to Bossier City. So, all right. You guys enjoy that conversation? I know I did. Hello, I'm Brittney Hazelton, and this is ArkLaTex Artistry, where we explore the arts in our area. Today's guest is the Executive Director of the Bossier Arts Council, who is joining us today to speak about a recent artist call and exhibition they have coming up. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I am Brittney Pope. I'm the current executive director. I'm here at the Bossier Arts Council located in the East Bank District.
Yep, in the East Bay District, and that's in Bossier City, correct? Um,
Correct, in both cities.
so, Brittany, first let's tell me about the artist call and the exhibition Duality. Explain the theme a little bit for our viewers.
Well, when we were sitting around, we knew we wanted to do a show that would be a collaborative show. For those who are not familiar with our galleries, which are the East Bank Gallery and the Virginia Cook Gallery that we have at Bossier Arts Council, typically our shows feature one artist, so they're typically solo shows. But we knew we wanted to do something collaborative. We wanted to do something open call,
Yeah.
and so we were playing around with a few different things. And so I've also kind of been paying attention to creatives. You have conversations with creatives. I myself am a creative in a way. And so we were recently talking about how sometimes, in order to survive as a human and a functioning adult, you have to do all the adult things, and it takes away from your time to be a creative. Um,
Very true.
but at the same token, as a creative, we feel like we need to create to survive.
Uh huh.
So there's two sides to the coin. There's two heads to the magical, beautiful creatures that we are, and that's duality.
Yeah, there's a thing about needing to create art for our own mental health and happiness and survival, but then we have to put down so much and we have to sacrifice so much to actually make money to actually survive. So there very much isn't a duality. There isn't a duality to that. There was an art piece that I made once, and it was basically just, it was all these colors kind of running down, and it was a giant, like, atomic bomb coming down, and the word said, over it said adulthood. And then there was a
Yeah.
child with a teddy bear, and there was this word, the word art was bending under the bomb. And it's basically a
Yes.
metaphor for, like, as we grow up, you hear so often, yeah, I used to do art when I was younger, but then I had
Yeah.
to grow up and I had to get a job. And then sometimes people, lose track of their talent, and the others that don't, struggle to survive. So I think that's a
That's
very
it.
relatable theme. I definitely
Definitely.
I look forward to seeing what kind of art is going to be in this exhibition. Uh,
I do as well. I wanted to see a show that was, and I'm not saying that any other call is not always for the artist,
mhm,
but I wanted a show for the artist.
love that.
Sometimes calls kind of speak to themes that are publicly aesthetically appealing, but
Yeah.
I wanted artists to be able to have that moment to create for the sake of creation, for the sake of their preservation.
Hmm. And to kind of create us, it feels like making a statement about their selves, about what they go through to the public, and kind of showing,
Yeah,
being more raw about what it takes for us, the sacrifices we make as artists, right?
correct, correct. And so I am absolutely excited to see even those artists who may have been on a hiatus
Mm.
recently, if they just get this moment to be able to create something to share with everyone, this portion or this season of their journey, then I feel like we would have accomplished what it set out to do.
I feel like a lot of artists actually went on hiatus when COVID happened, So many artists, like, despite the fact that a lot of us were working from home, but a lot of festivals and things that we earned money from just disappeared.
Yeah,
And so many
definitely.
artists may have never came out of that hiatus. So, okay, guys, so I'm going to do a quick commercial break and then we will be right back. Just bear with me, and then we will get right back to the interview as soon as the commercials are done. All right, see you at the end of the interview once we play the rest of it. That'd be kind of cool to
That's
see.
it.
That's a
And
great.
that is,
That's a great way to encourage them to come out, I think. Um,
I hope so.
so, what kind of mediums are you guys looking for entries to this?
There are no limits on mediums because that this is how much we want this to be the show for the artist. There are no limits on the mediums. There's not really any limits on size. When they begin to play, obviously people are familiar with our gallery space, so they're going to be a little
You gotta
mindful.
fit. You gotta fit it in the actual
Yeah,
gallery.
right. But essentially, there are no limits. There are no limits on mediums
All right.
because, obviously, no bodily fluids or anything like that. Okay. So,
Yeah,
I'll put
health
that out there.
reasons. Health
Okay.
reasons.
But we want the artists to really be able to tell their story. We want them to be able to speak to duality, and how it shows up in their journey. And so, if that looks like a mixed media piece, if that looks like straight up oil, if that looks like acrylic, if that looks like, I don't know, ink, alcoholic, there are no limits.
All right. Well, that's good to know. Is there an entry fee for any artists that are applying to be a part of the show?
If they are Bossier Arts Council members, then they do not have an entry fee. However, if they are not a BAC member, there is a $10 entry fee.
Okay.
And as of this week, it has not been announced yet, but there will be a best in show, and subsequently there will be a best in show prize for
Okay.
that person who
Oh,
is
cool.
juried and decides to be best in show.
Okay. So, I know that there's a lot of benefits to being a Bossier Arts Council a member. Can you enlighten us a little bit on what it costs to become a member and the benefits for the Bossier Arts
Yeah.
Council membership?
Our membership is currently $35 a year. That's right, a whopping $35
Not
because we want
much.
to continue to support artists for $35 a year. But what that does is it gives you access to the knowledge of those of us that are staff members here, as well as connecting you to individuals who may have some knowledge and wisdom that you seek in regard to your artistry, making your artistry your full time pursuit, whatever that looks like. So you do get the benefit of that. We call that our one stop services or one stop sessions.
Yeah.
The one stop is an actual room. I
Mm-hmm.
recently had a conversation with an artist, and so they are trying to connect to collectors, and they were saying, well, I work out of my house. I don't necessarily want anyone coming to my house. Well, if you call and arrange the time, you can have the room
There
so
you
that you
go.
can meet that person who may be a complete stranger, because for some people, if it's not that, it could be that your art studio is your sacred space, or that is that space that you need to preserve from the rest of the world. Well, that can be a part of your membership as well. There's free Wi-Fi access here, to be able to do that. The big thing that we typically see with those that are visual artists is our photography services. So we are
Mm-hmm.
able to photograph your completed works for you, and you all know how expensive photography can
Oh,
get.
so important to get that work for
And
a photograph too.
there we go. And so
Yeah.
what happens, that is factored into your membership. We don't charge you on top of. You
Yeah,
pay
it
your
is
membership,
expensive.
and you're able, we do have to cap it because realistically others may need the service, right? So you can't bring us like your whole collection of everything from like 10 years ago. But we will, photograph a number of items at the time. And that goes for even if, you are in sculpting, you are a jewelry maker, but you just want to be able to keep the images for your portfolio. That is included in your membership as well. We do some one stop classes. We slowed down a lot during COVID, but we're ramping back up. But there are some group classes that are offered to creatives, that are taught by individuals who are aware, who have an awareness, and who also have an expertise in particular fields. So those classes sometimes are available to you for free or for a small fee. So, for example, February, I want to say it is February the 27th to be exact. We are going to host Paul Savage, and he will be
Oh,
speaking to creatives in regard to social media, current social media trends, what is the most beneficial for creatives at this point in time in light of what's going on with current events. We already know what the temperature is.
Yeah.
Like we know things can be snatched from us at any point, right? But we know that social media has served as a tool to be able for a lot of artists who may not be people
Yep.
persons, like they're not going to be out and about, but they post so that people are aware of their artistry. Well, Paul's going to speak to that. And so that particular session is going to be held here at BAC February the 27th at 6 p.m.
Okay.
And if you're a BAC member, it's only $5
Nice.
to be
That's
able
not bad.
to get that from him. But if you're not a member, it's only $10.
Okay. Well, one thing I would like to say is I've utilized in the past when I utilized the photography for BAC, and I used that to make prints of my work, and those prints sold for me, and I the $35 is really makes it worth it just to be able to get prints and then make all that money back and then a lot more from just getting the photography done, which would really have cost me a lot of money normally, or to a price of a camera is just ridiculous nowadays. So, being able to do it on my own is difficult. So I could see that
Right.
being very beneficial, and in the resource of learning social media stuff for artists is very important. So it's good to hear. When is the deadline for submission for Duality, and when is the exhibition opening?
March the 25th is the deadline for you to submit your works to us. Specifically, it's March the 25th by 4 p.m. is what we're
Okay.
asking. But the actual exhibit will be up from April the 1st until May the 27th. And there will be a reception on April the 6th. And during that time, Best in Show will be announced.
All right, that sounds great. So, I had another interesting question for you. What kind of impact do you think the Bossier Arts Council has on the city of Bossier City?
Well, I think there's dual. There's duality here, right? On one hand, in regard to individuals who are seeking to be in a creative space, who are seeking to evolve their creativity, they want to grow. Maybe they're revisiting who they are as a creative. We are a safe space. They can come here, they can have the one stop sessions, they can get the knowledge. For those who are looking to best understand how to take themselves from maybe just one on one interactions to being able to deal within the online landscape, they're trying to expand their online footprint. We're a space for that. We want to be that safe space for the creative. And so that's one side of who we are. Then there's the other side of being able to educate the public on the significance
Mm,
and the importance of being able to support artists and support the arts. Sometimes it's easy to take the arts for granted, but when we were home and we could not get together, when we were home and we just did not know what to do with ourselves, what did we turn to? We turned to creative processes. We turned to doing
mm-hmm.
those things and revisiting the things that we loved creatively over the years. We turned to the arts. You had artists who may not have been able to do festival circuits, but they were able to go and develop products that the
Oh,
medical
yeah.
community needed to get through that season. They had to lean on the creative, they had to lean on the artists. Those in the performing arts were streaming concerts, and DJs were going live in their living rooms to keep us entertained and to let us have just a little bit of normalcy, because we did not know what we were facing and we did not know how this would turn out. And so being able to remind the public of moments like that, or help them to reconnect to what they loved about art and creativity at one time, and the need to keep that supported, so that no matter where we are politically or socially, the art is needed. The art is a
Yeah.
part of who we are in our human experience. So that's our duality and that's our existence in Bossier.
I feel like it's, you guys are a creative hub for, and people I think they just don't realize, they don't take the moment to realize how much art is part of our lives and is important to us having that that experience happiness and dopamine and all the good stuff in our lives. A lot of that comes from visual things, from entertainment, and all of that is art. And bring up some great points, and that's what arts councils are important for each area. I feel like you guys bring a lot of color, a lot of creative spirit to those that need it. So.
And that's a big drive within our mission. And you brought up Bossier City, but our mission statement actually encompasses the entire parish,
There you
Bossier
go.
Parish. So anyone that sees this, even if you're not within Bossier City, this applies to you.
Yep.
One of the efforts for this year is to be able to identify those spaces of creativity, arts, and culture throughout the entire parish to help support and promote and bring awareness to it so that everyone is aware where the artistic and cultural impacts are made throughout this
Hmm.
parish. And so we want to be able to highlight those spaces and those individuals. So, yes, we are.
Wonderful. So, what can people do if they want to follow the BAC and their events on social media? What places can they visit?
We can be found on Instagram. We can be found on Facebook, and we did develop a TikTok. We're not as heavy over there, especially in light of what recently happened,
Yeah,
but
you never know where it's gonna go. I understand.
but we can be found across all platforms at Bossier Arts Council, including LinkedIn. You can find us on LinkedIn now under Bossier Arts Council. And we encourage you to make sure you like, follow us. Be sure to also like and follow the East Bank Cultural District
Mm-hmm.
because we are the liaison for the cultural district. And so some of the programming, the fun programming that happens outdoors, like our markets, which are exclusively for artists and makers,
Mm-hmm.
FYI, they cannot bring in manufactured goods and sell them. If you have taken time to develop it, to create it, to make it, then we want you there selling it.
There you go.
But follow those two pages. You will be able to keep up with what's happening. If you're not big on social media, that's okay too, because you can always go to our website and make sure that you subscribe to our emails. We're not going to bombard you with a lot of emails.
Nope.
We typically send out our calendar at the top of the month, but any significant announcements, artist calls, things like that, they go out via email as well.
And those are the events you really want to go to. Like, if you really want to get involved, I would suggest any of our viewers go to the openings, go to the events on that calendar. That calendar gives you things to do. People are always like, there's never anything to do around this area, but that's not true. Check out Bossier Arts Council's calendar. There's always something. There's always something to do. So yeah, and the networking you receive from becoming a member or going to these events is vital, especially for these artists. You network with other artists and you collaborate. Sometimes you meet people that end up becoming collectors. So it's worth going to these events and attending these shows and trying to submit to these exhibitions that are held there, especially. So.
And if I can interject this as well, sometimes we're called upon as an arts council in the name of outreach or programming to do specific things. They want a specific medium explored, they want to
Yeah.
learn about it. Well, we're only a staff of 4 people, so let's start there. But we don't know everything. We call upon artists who do, and we pay you to go on our behalf because you have taken time to develop your art form. You have developed the knowledge, and we reach out to you if you are a member and we ask you to go on our behalf, and we compensate you for your time for going to do that on our behalf. So that's another benefit of membership as well.
Oh, there you go.
Sometimes people call us just looking for artists to do a birthday party. I don't know, just whatever. Well, we don't do that sometimes. So what we do is we call upon an artist that we know is dependable and has the ability, and we connect you to whoever that is looking, and then you're able to do your direct business with them.
That's great. So, possible financial benefits for artists that are also members as well.
Correct.
Well, thank you so much, Brittany, for stopping and talking to me. I look forward to talking to you again sometime about more events that you guys are having coming up. Just, anytime, just let me know. Thank you
Yes,
for.
thank you so much for having me.
No problem. I'm always happy to work with the Bossier Arts Council. You guys are great.
Thank you.
All right, you take care.
Bye bye.
All right, guys. So that was my interview with Brittany Pope of the Bossier Arts Council regarding duality and regarding Bossier Arts Council's impact on Bossier City and about their membership that they have and the benefits of it. And like honestly, really though, that membership to get the photography of your work done. If you're an artist and you don't have photography done with a good camera, and I'm not talking about like cell phone picture. You can only do so much. You have to have really high grade phones to do that. Um, they have actual camera. It's worth it to get the prints. You make so much more money as long as you are putting those out there from prints than sometimes more than you make on the original pieces. It's I highly suggest it. Even if you are worried about, oh well, that devalues, maybe it devalues my art. I would say if you're worried about that, you could do limited print series and that are just a limited amount of them, and have them sign and mark them up a little bit in price, and people that are interested in your work are willing to buy that if they can't afford your actual work, and it puts you in their mind. So you say they have some of your prints at their house, and then they are encouraged by it every day to maybe buy that original piece or buy an original piece from you. So it's worth it. All right, guys. So now remember, you can find my articles if you go to KSLA.com under ArkLaTex Artistry. That's Community ArkLaTex Artistry. And then all those articles, most of them, not all of them, most of them are written by me. Some of them are art related that are just we put in my section so you can easily find the art. You can email me if you have ideas for an interview or you want to be interviewed, you want to show me your work. You can email me at Brittney.Hazelton at KSLA.com, spelled just like it is on the screen. If you just want to watch my interviews, I have a lot of great interviews, some mini documentaries of our local artists. If you want to learn about the arts in general in the ArkLaTex, go to the podcast section and check out ArkLaTex Artistry. That's all my interviews. Or you can find my stuff on the Roku or Apple TV app. You can also find me on YouTube. There's a playlist for ArkLaTex Artistry. All of our videos are on there as well. So, all right, guys. I had I had time doing this one. I look forward to posting some Mardi Gras photos and maybe some videos tomorrow on ArkLaTex Today, their Facebook page and KSLA's Facebook page. So check those. If you're not following those pages on Facebook, I would suggest following those pages. KSLA, especially if you are interested in breaking news, and me and our digital team, we write those articles and some. So you may see some crime articles that are by me and my colleagues. Um, they're always interesting extra details that sometimes you don't get on the broadcast. You can find on the digital platform. I highly suggest checking those out. It's all right, guys. Thank you again. Follow us on Facebook. If you want to follow me, just specifically me on Facebook, you can look up Brittney Hazelton or Sizica right there, and my art page and my professional page is there, so you can follow me or befriend me there and keep up to date to what I'm doing. All right, guys, you take care, and remember, enjoy the arts, support the local artists, like, share, follow their stuff, comment on them. If you can't buy it, at least you can do is that, right? Um, that includes music. Go to the events and support them through those events. Bye, guys.